Hey guys, and welcome to the Multicast podcast, episode 6. My name's Purge, and I'm here with Blitz and Hotbid. How are you guys doing? Are you guys there?
I thought I was waiting for Ken to talk.
I was waiting for you.
Yeah, for sure the server had died. I was like, they didn't hear shit.
No, but then I thought it was an uncomfortable amount of time for me to begin talking, so then I just continued to wait for Ken.
Oh, great.
I mean, I always go second usually, so I guess it's my fault, but...
It is.
I wanted to let you have your turn this time.
We're all good, we're all good. Off to a good start.
It's been a while.
It really has. Are we gonna play some blame here?
Remember when we thought it would be easy to do this weekly?
Once a week.
Remember that?
Now we're like bi-monthly.
Once upon a time when we were young and naive.
It's just hard to set schedules in time.
My sleep schedule delaying things.
My sleep schedule is so over the place, and
I don't blame you. You're like 9 hours behind us. Like what?
Yeah.
Or ahead of us. Like what can we really do? I guess just we can just deal with it. That's pretty much all there is. So.
This was good. We set a time and we stuck to it, and everyone showed up.
Dude, I thought I woke up an hour late. I thought it was supposed to be 8 a.m. and I woke up at like 9:04, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot to set my alarm.
I'm not even gonna lie, I forgot about this, and I was gonna wake up at like 6 p.m. and be late.
Honestly, I am just happy that we get to talk about the town, because I'm super excited to talk about the town. Go.
You're already nostalgia tripping.
We'll start with that.
I am, dude.
For those of you guys that missed it, Charlie and who are the main organizers, so I don't give the wrong.
Charlie, Greg, and then LD, since we used his place.
Okay, it's basically if you guys have ever watched us play Mafia or seen us talk about Mafia online, it's a game of deception where everybody gets these different roles. Like one team is Mafia; they're trying to kill the town members until they're all dead, so that the Mafia win. The town is trying to figure out who's the Mafia, so the Mafia are lying, and the town people are trying to figure out who's lying. Is how it works. So that's Mafia, and they organized an event at the BTS house, and they invited like 25, at least about 25 Dota personalities, almost all Dota personalities, and we just played Mafia for 3 days. So it was really fun. So that's the basis. What aspects do you guys want to talk about? Like there was a stat document that came out a couple days ago on the Mafia LAN subreddit. I thought that was pretty interesting. It had like everybody's win-loss, their win-loss for Mafia, win-loss for town. I keep on saying Radiant.
I just want to talk about my impressions about everyone, because I learned a lot playing Mafia, and I have impressions on everyone. I got to know everyone a little bit better. It felt like kind of a fun, like I actually had the most fun after playing pubs with people. But the Mafia was definitely really fun.
Yeah, the pubs were really
draft
nice.
events and stuff.
Yeah, those were really fun. I almost wish we could do that the whole time rather than just playing Mafia as well. You know, it's like you just want to do all parts of it, but there's not enough time. If you stay up late playing Dota, then you'll be missing the Mafia in the morning. You know.
That's what ended up happening with us. It's that like me, Hotbid, and a few people would just like grind games until 2 a.m. and then we would just kind of wake up a little bit later. But
Blitz got me like so much party MMR.
Oh, really?
and then I lost it all by playing with Godz and Merlini. I lost like 8 games in a row with them.
Dude, I look over Ben Random Storm and I'm like, okay, sweet, this is a great Storm game. There's like no disables. And then I look over and Ben's like 1-17 or something.
What about Godz though? Historically, he doesn't give a fuck about pubs, and he just dicks around.
He doesn't. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's really fun to play with him. It's just that you're gonna lose.
Remember his like Shadowblade Desolator Necrolite that he used to do
He's
like 2 years ago?
He's good. I mean, he's really good. He gets a lot of farm, and like clearly he understands how to play, but he just doesn't care.
Yeah, he definitely does not try. All right, what about
I really like. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna change the subject to the Mafia portion of it over the Dota, but
sure.
It sounded like you had something really interesting to say, and I cut you off, so go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I really like playing with Roland. I know like people don't they don't know Roland because he's a production guy, but he just gets excited over every little thing that happens in the Dota game.
Oh, really?
Like we'll get a kill and he'll just be like, yeah, like like super excited next to you.
Yeah.
And he never really gets pissed off when bad things happen. So It's like perfect.
That's always really good to have.
My Roland story is Grace showed me a picture of a burger that Roland had eaten. Like he did some burger challenge. It was like 2 grilled cheese sandwiches as patties
You
on
gotta
top
set it
of
up. Roland is not a super large guy.
yeah, he's really not.
Normal guy.
Yeah, and so it's like 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, 3 meat patties, like 4 slices of cheese, like 8 strips of bacon, a whole like a giant cap mushroom or something like that. And they said he was like the first person that's ever done it. Like they were so impressed. The
He's a
staff there.
record. He's a record breaker at the restaurant.
That's pretty impressive.
That reminds me of the sandwiches at Rutgers in New Jersey. You eat 3 of them, they name one after you.
Oh shit.
Does it just rotate when somebody else eats the next one or something?
No, they just add like a new one. You can make your own.
Oh,
Like
I
every
see.
single one is like, there's like one with like chicken tenders in it, and like fries.
Okay. So if you eat one of the previous record holders, you make a new one.
No, I think they just keep adding them.
Okay.
Doesn't happen often because the things are gigantic.
Yeah.
I can eat like one, and that's like if I'm like super hungry and like try really really hard.
Yeah, I don't even know if at my peak of binge eating, basically, I could put that much away when I would only eat like 1 meal a day. I don't know if I could ever do those eating challenges. That's impressive. Anyways, Roland actually didn't play Mafia at all. I don't think he ever got in the ring. Did he?
It's okay. No, I said I wish he did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your first sentence cut off. What about who's your guys' standout Mafia performers of the event? I thought I think Charlie improved a shitload. He scares me a lot when I'm playing against someone in Mafia, and LD as well. I have a hard time hiding myself against him, so I thought they did really, really well.
I think they actually figured you out more than they got better.
Okay.
Which is kind of like they got better, but you had to change how you played because you played very standard when you pound, and you are a little different when you're Mafia.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest thing that changes how you rate people. It's how well you can read them. So like around the Frankfurt major, I knew that I could read Charlie's tells when he was Mafia, but then things change over time. So then when Charlie becomes hard to tell, then all of a sudden I think he's good. So it comes down to a lot about how you see a person. So if Charlie modded the first like 4 games and he only watched me, then it's going to influence how strong he thinks I'm as a Mafia player, because he watched me play and saw the differences and could bring that into next games. So I thought about that the other day, that it really influences how good you think somebody is whether or not you can read him or not.
I mean, for me personally, what I really learned about this Mafia LAN is just the way that people really play when they play Mafia is almost everybody that's newer to it is just quiet and hopes that they just like slink by without saying anything. And when you confront them with information, they don't really have anything too useful to contribute or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
Like I noticed that whenever somebody would pressure, for example, you or Kotlguy for information, when you guys were Mafia, neither of you guys would really throw too much into the pot. It would just be kind of white noise. So then I started to really pick up on that. So I almost always knew when you were Mafia or when you were Town. So that made it really easy because I could just clear you. The problem, I guess, was just we had too many people that were stubborn, I guess, because you really have to adjust your views based on people like game to game. I feel like you can use some outside information, but I felt like some people were incredibly stubborn, so it made it a little bit difficult for Town.
I would say that.
I was going to ask you. I'll hop in. Go ahead.
Since you couldn't hide, a lot of people used to hide a lot in games where they get Mafia once and they just play badly, but this time everyone got Mafia more than once, so you had to adjust, and people.
Well, it's not entirely true. I think Cap and Shiver didn't get it once.
But I think everyone could see just game to game how people changed, and that is a big difference than playing like 1 or 2 games a night and then playing for like a few days and then.
Yeah, we played so many games that you really could see the differences. Huh. Did you guys name any stand-up performers? I said mine, but you guys did not.
I think Slacks for sure for me. He was very bad as Town, but as Mafia, he was actually kind of amazing. And I thought he would be jokey, and because I had no idea what to expect, because he had never really played before.
Hmm.
But he just, when he was Mafia and I was watching him, he just didn't panic at all. Anytime he was being pressured, he was fine. He knew what to like say to like be very chaotic.
Mhm.
He knew how to like pocket someone.
I
Did
thought
everything
the-
kind of right.
I thought though that his town really suffered because like it felt like it kind of got to his head when he played Mafia well.
Yeah.
That like he would trust his reads so much and he'd be so blatantly wrong, but he'd like refuse to change. Like he'd just be like, I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the
And-
big things I changed too. I stopped trusting my town reads because they were just like guesses, and I started not confirmation really instead of leading the discussion.
Yeah, that's what I felt as well. At TI and stuff, I had some success finding mafias, but then at a certain point, everybody's just so good at playing Mafia as Mafia that I just had no idea anymore. I was actually just wrong most of the time when I had super reads.
Yo, it's so much easier to be Mafia when you're not expected to lead the discussion.
Yeah.
I really felt a lot less pressure when I was Mafia, and I didn't lose a Mafia game. I went 3 for 3. I
Yeah.
felt it was easier at least.
I think you're one of the only. I found it a little difficult because it was so different. Because like it's one of the problems Slacks had as well. If one of your plays is strong, for example, like Slacks for example changed up every game to that way people couldn't read his patterns, right? But that's basically a Mafia long con game. If you change up your play, then people can't make sure
That's
that you're
right,
town,
yeah.
and it makes your Mafia play by result. And same with me. If I play super obvious town every single game, then you can tell when I'm slightly different, which hurts my Mafia play. So if you go all in on one specialty, it makes you poor at the other one, and that's one thing that really hurts Slacks, I thought.
Yeah, I think that's an underrated part of playing Mafia. Is just like it's similar to what's it called, DI and Smash. You don't see it, but it's like super important. It's like this the ability to get everyone to believe that you're town and consistently do it is
Mhm.
like huge. But people don't people like want to see the flashy Mafia plays, you know, like all about that kind of stuff. Instead, some people are really good at that. Like, or maybe not LD, but I forget who is at it. But Charlie maybe. Charlie's really good at when I can tell when he's town, you know, right away. Same with
Mhm.
Mott. I can tell Mott right away. Do you guys have any memories? Biggest memory or takeaway from?
I think mine was when Ben fucking shot our cop. That was pretty much verified.
Was that the
cop.
last game? That was
Yeah.
the last game where
Yeah,
he threw real hard, right?
So Hotbid set the groundwork. I knew Godz was Mafia, so I was like, I'm gonna carry this on.
He was
And-
so nervous, dude. That was the most nervous I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
And like,
His face was shaking. Like
this is a professional caster that talks for a living in front of tens of thousands of people, and he was so nervous.
Yeah. If you
Had
guys
to
didn't
be
watch the
Mafia.
game, I was one of the Mafia with Godz, and they were super hard on Conrad, and then a cop came out saying Conrad was Mafia. So Conrad was fucked basically, and then Godz ended up counterclaiming cop afterwards as
That was
the
a
other
CLP.
Mafia member.
A
I was just like, oh my god, now we have 2 dead Mafia instead of just 1, and I couldn't believe he did it. But luckily we worked it out in the end, and I got to convince. Once we killed all the good players, we got to convince everybody.
Okay, that was the issue there, is that I had to spend so much time convincing people that fucking Godz was Mafia. Like,
Yeah.
it should have been a 3-second discussion. I should have been like, okay, he lived, he's clearly Mafia, everything pointed to him. Let's just use the logic games, but Shiver and Owen refused to change.
Oh my god,
their stance.
Owen.
Shiver and Owen refused. They even after the game,
Defend
they
Shiver
were
a little bit. She played quite well, I think, overall in the event.
They were just they
But
were so.
Owen was a disaster. I've never seen someone so bad at Mafia in my life.
I
It was-
thought Zayori gave him a run for his money.
Okay, but Zayori...
I would take Zayori over OD as a
Yeah, I
town
would take
person.
Zayori over Owen instantly. The reason why is because Zayori kind of knows that he's probably not right, and he only had that one really bad game where he got pocketed by me and believed me over Charlie and Conrad. That was like the worst one. OD had like a consistent string of misreads and formaling the wrong people and making the wrong votes.
Yeah, and a lot of times in crucial moments, Zaire would like throw games at the end of the game where things had already gone bad, but OD would just like throw random wrenches into the game very unexpectedly. Like that one game where I accused a shot at LD, and then he just randomly accused me when it was like our last formal of the night. I was just like, what the fuck? But he just gets like, he would just get convinced of like conspiracy theories in the late game and say like, I know it's him. Like it just has to add up. He was like, Purge has been alive. Nobody's accused him all game. It's got to be him is what he said. And I was like, you can't just like throw, but he's right partially. You have to sometimes throw everything out the window, like all of your assumptions for the game, and then relook at the situation. But he was sometimes doing it at the wrong time. So
what I find
messed up.
What I find is that people are so occasionally somebody will make some like next level play, so they're used to being hoodwinked. So they'll always think of like the triple next level play.
Mm-hmm.
But something that really stuck out to me that Hotbid once told me once, like when he was getting frustrated that people were accusing him, is that sometimes it's just that easy. Like it's just people aren't amazing at the game. We're not 18 level liars. We don't have layers on layers. There's no mastermind thing.
Stuff only happened twice, I think.
Yeah, so you can usually just go by what happened logically and follow that path.
There was a successful fake cop claim twice, I think. Foch
Yeah.
did it once, which, by the way, changed my view of her entirely. And who else did it? I think
Chobra did it.
Chobra. Yeah, Chobra did it once.
And that's what I mean is that, but those plays are fewer.
Yeah,
You know, they happen a
they
lot
just
less.
hurt. They just hurt more. Like psychologically, they hurt.
Yeah.
And
So you just assume that.
I had 3 final threes with Mott.
And the sixth player?
Well, I had 2 in the 6th player and then 1 overall in a big game. And I'm by the way, I'm happy that we had some final threes because it makes it much more exciting when there actually are some of those.
Yeah, those
But
were fun.
The 6 player ones, the 6 player ones I had 1 win, 1 loss, but my brain was like, there's like a screenshot of me like my mind breaking in one of them because I was thinking so hard and trying not to lose. Like I cared so much about not losing the mod 2 times in a row. I was just, he's gonna lord this over me forever if I lose this 2 times in a row to him. And I picked the right one, and I got Merlini at the end. But he played a pretty good game that time, so he almost carried his entire team to victory. But then my opinion of him did a 180 when he shot the cup.
Zaire did?
No, Ben Wu.
Oh, Ben.
Wu.
Yeah, that was a weird. Also, I don't know if you guys found out, but it was mod error that night. Like the game actually was wrong.
Why?
We tried to kill Will that night because I assumed that the medic would save Ben. So I decided to not kill. I initially wanted to kill Godz that night that he fake claimed cop, because then we might have been able to turn around and get K-pop lynched, but mod wouldn't allow it. So then we were like,
I don't think you can kill. Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
you can kill.
So he voted that we couldn't. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then we chose to kill Will and somebody random like Shane or something like that. And what is hip thought that we chose the cop K-pop, and then he thought that it was stacked with Ben's shot. So actually, K-pop should have been saved actually, because the medic would have saved the shot from Ben.
God damn it!
So he messed up
Greg.
the game. I checked the VOD after. I talked about it as the game ended, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't remember killing him, so I was confused how he died. But I thought about it afterwards, and I thought it actually didn't make that big of a difference. Because
it was fine. I don't mind that.
Because
mess up sometimes.
Because either way, we would have had reduced kill power the turn. I don't remember why. I'd have to rethink about the situation. I don't remember it as well. But he did miss mod there. But as I thought about it, I was like, I don't know if it would have made that big of a difference. Because then Will would have been dead instead, and that would have been less proponent for Godz, and we might have been able to sway them, a different way or something. I'm not sure.
Because I was not being swayed. Like I was.
What was your memory from it, Purge?
That game was a good memory. The 6 player as well. I remember the 6 player when it was like, what is hip, myself and Slacks, and Slacks just didn't believe that I was Town and we were in a 3-player, and he decided to kill us, so we lost that game. I should have been. I could have out-logicked a little better, though. I had some failings there, so that game was partially on me. But I remember that one very specifically because that was the first time I've ever been killed when I was actually Town, and I just wasn't believed, and I was really confused about that. I was like, people always believe me when I'm Town, you know? It was weird to lose in that way.
Purge says, "This is what it feels like
Yeah.
to be falsely accused."
Yeah.
Blitz, what was it like dying? You averaged like 1 day of survival, I think.
Yeah. I got to play a lot of Mafia here. I mean, it was kind of just a little frustrating. It's just like I'd enter the game, everyone would accuse me. I would vote correctly on the people I wanted to lynch, but it was day 1.
You know what? That's them respecting you. They fear the
it's just
Mafia.
like, I'm just like, guys, come on. Like, at the very least, I'm a strong player and I can help you in Town. And it just like, nope, you're lynched. I'm like, all right.
You gotta turn the corner when you're Mafia. You gotta be able to survive.
The thing is, when we play just off camera, it's a lot easier for me to get emotional because I can just do that around my friends, you know. But
I see what you mean. Yeah.
But when you're on camera and stuff, I don't want to be that asshole that's just like, I'm fucking Town, you know, like I'm just gonna, you know, it's just gonna be like.
Dude, that's why I killed you so often, because you never did that. I didn't realize that you were like making a choice not to do that stuff. But the fact that you never did it, I was
shy. Come on.
I was like, okay,
it's not that.
He's not defending himself the same that he does when he's genuinely innocent. So I would kill you, like, because you didn't do that stuff.
But at the same time, I feel like people weren't listening to what I was saying. Like every time I was Town, I contributed so much. I pinged like 3 out of like. I pinged 4 people and 3 of them ended up being Mafia.
Yeah, but that's before you figure out they're Mafia though. You're talking like you got killed like day 1 basically a couple times.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. Immediately I would say this guy's different, this guy's different, this guy's different. And then I would clear 4 people for you guys, and then that's really good information. That's not something Mafia would do. Like I very clearly like listed some people and stuff, and I even cleared you for the body reads that I had, and you still wanted to lynch me. And Austin and LD knew it was not me, and Austin told me that he was going to defend me, like ride or die, but he didn't think the vote was going to pass because he didn't think the arguments against me were very good. But I asked people at the end, I was like, why did you lynch me? They're just like, because we were afraid, you know, if it goes later and you're Mafia. And that's just what happens once you build up a rep like that. Like everyone always just kills you.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good reason to kill people early, but
I think LD played really well throughout the whole event. How he played.
Yeah, I think so too. His Mafia was. I didn't see him play Mafia that much, I guess.
What do you guys think of Nahaz and Conrad?
Nahaz, I don't know. I was a little surprised that nobody rated him very highly because he was playing fairly consistently. I thought like his ability to act angry when he was Mafia and logical and whatever was pretty consistent. I felt. Yeah, like he did have a very high win rate, not to meme or anything. But I thought he overall played quite well. I don't know, he's just undervalued a little. I'm not sure why.
I think the biggest thing is that when he was Mafia,
yeah,
when he was Mafia, it was kind of, he just got a little bit over the top, and he was never the person that was carrying as Mafia, which is something that is a lot more memorable. I feel.
You think so?
Like when you're Mafia with like Ken plus Charlie, or LD plus somebody else, it's not going to be very hard. Because they're going to do a lot of the legwork for you. You just kind of have to sit there and wait for things to, you know, make their moments, and you have to survive essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you play and you can solo games, I feel like that's where I rate people highly personally.
Okay.
Like I fear the people that I just think can straight up solo games, not the people that just sit there and do their jobs, you know?
Okay, so you're saying he sat there passively and he did his logical stuff, but he didn't really direct the game. He just kind of sat there and watch things.
Yeah, he didn't ruin things, is what I mean. Like when he played Mafia, he did keep his cool, but he was never the person that was leading the discussion into killing Town or anything like that.
Okay.
Like, I watched a lot of the VODs for fun. That's what I noticed.
What's a Town or a Mafia player that did do that? That did lead the Town into kills, like actively controlled.
I thought Charlie was really good at that. I thought Charlie was really good at setting it up.
I didn't catch any of his Mafia games, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, Charlie would just keep pinging people that logically made sense, and he would target people that were weak at defending themselves. Like, he'd target Andrew all the time when he was Mafia. Because we knew that Andrew would break me.
And then we would stack, because I was Mafia with him twice, I think. Or he would just get someone, we would kill that person because it's Charlie, and then because people opinion it when he's down, and then Mafia would stack.
Yeah. So he'd cause a lot of chaos like that.
And people would believe him because kill power reduces, and they don't suspect the stack.
I see.
We set that meta at TI or something. Me and Charlie were. I was the first person that wanted to do that, like fake stack, but we just chose different targets. But anyways, I thought Charlie was really good at that. I mean, my standouts were Charlie, Chobra, and LD. LD probably could have played a little bit more. I don't think I saw him in like a lot of games, but those were the people that really stood out to me.
Yeah, Chobra did play quite well, except for that one game where he was the cop and got counterclaimed and didn't do anything.
Game.
Yeah, I agree.
He threw the game where it was you versus him.
Yeah, I agree. I thought I was absolutely screwed that game. Like Conrad and
man, I got you.
Yeah, that was you and me when we were Mafia, where Conrad and Charlie knew it was me. It was just obvious, and I was like, "Well, they definitely know, and they're gonna out argue me." But then, with for some reason, we got everybody to think that Chobra was just not defending himself well, and he wasn't. But he should have gone
tilted Conrad so hard that game. That was so fun.
I know
actually.
It was enjoyable for me too, because they were so mad, and they knew they were right, and I knew they were right, but nobody believed them. So I just got to watch them be angry the whole time.
They knew that you knew that they were right.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like, they knew that everything you were saying was a lie. And they just couldn't do anything about it. Oh, it was great.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. You carried that game for sure. And then once you were dead, then I just did the usual convincing the weak players and finishing the game. I think that was the only thing I was good at as Mafia. The early game detection stuff I'm really bad at.
I kind of wish I got to play a little bit more. Just
yeah, I feel bad, but.
I would show up. I'd get day zero kill. The first day, I was like, "Oh, sweet, we get to play Mafia." You know, I get day zero kill twice in a row, and I'm like, "All right, I'll just go upstairs and play Dota." Yeah, and then they convinced me to come back down, and then I got lynched day one. I was like, "Guys, they're just like, but Blitz is acting different." Somebody said that, and I was just like, "That's bullshit," because I didn't fucking play.
You're getting punished for the Kotlguy kill at Frankfurt.
God, that was fucking dirty, dude.
Guy came over and he watched us play Mafia for 2 hours. This game for 2 hours.
He couldn't
finally
play.
Gets in. He gets ready to play, and then Blitz night ones him or night zeros him.
Yeah, he couldldn't play because he had to do interviews and stuff. So he was always had to be available.
Okay, to be fair,
that was so harsh. Oh
dude,
my God.
I got in a little late, so I had no idea that he was waiting. Like I just arrived.
Oh.
Remember that. I had just gotten there, and then Kotlguy seemed like an okay kill, like nothing too suspicious. And then he leaves, and he's like, really pissed off, and I was like, "Oh, what happened?" And everyone's like, and then Ken's laughing, and he's like, "He's been waiting 2 hours." He just starts laughing. I was like, "Fuck."
No kidding.
But at the same time, I asked Charlie about it. I was like, "Was that a dick move?" And he's like, "No, because every time you play Mafia, you have to just willingly accept that there's a chance you're just going to straight up die immediately. That's just part of the game."
I would have let him live. I don't know, man. Unless he was a really, really good player, I would have let him live. I thought that was dirty, and I think I was modding it. I was just like, oh my God, are you serious?
Should have mod
I had no idea.
Intentionally mod error it.
Yeah, it's okay. You had an excuse. You didn't know.
It's fine. Yeah.
Kotlguy ended up not playing that much anyway, so it's clear that he just doesn't like Mafia a shitload. But he's the only professional actor in the group, so it must be weird, like being an expert at your craft and then playing with a bunch of fucking noobs that are pretending to pretend, you know?
I don't know. Acting is completely different than being interrogated.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it's under pressure. You have to improv. It's not like
yeah,
lines.
You're right. It's
whatever.
improv. I don't know how much improv he's done or anything like that, but.
What did you guys think of the event overall, and what options are there for future?
I feel like slightly more Dota would be more enjoyable, maybe from a viewer experience as well. And I felt like by the third day, you could tell everybody's tensions were extremely high in almost a negative way, personally, is how I felt about it. Like, people were getting a little too into it and a little too competitive, and to the point where it wasn't hurting friendships, but you could tell that everybody was irritated about the same old things that kept happening. So I maybe would have played more Dota or limited the event a little bit.
I think the games. I actually think the games on the third day were amazing. By the way.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And I think the duration of the event was just about perfect. I think it hit the sweet spot between not overdoing it, while still having enough Mafia for us. I do agree that maybe we should have had more stuff. Maybe we can reduce each day by 1 game. That might work better. But after the event was over, I had like the town post-event depression. I was like just wanting to play immediately, and I just couldn't because there was no Mafia. And I missed the atmosphere the most because everyone was always down to do everything. Like you could just say, "Let's go pub," and then 5 people would jump up and do it. You know.
Yeah, LANs are so fun with your friends. Completely agree with that.
So I hope they're able to set this up again. Hopefully before long, but everyone's schedules are so hard that I don't know if that's even possible.
Yeah, and you have to compete with every other event going on, stuff like that. Makes it a little harder to find those opportunities. I think immediately after it ended, it was like New Year's, and then bam, the qualifiers started like a couple days later. So I didn't even have time for depression. The event just like instantly started the next one.
For me personally, I enjoyed the event a lot, despite just getting there and being like dummy fodder to be killed. But honestly, for me personally, I fucking love Dota. So when I just got killed, I'd just go upstairs and play Dota, and there'd almost always be somebody that would just be down to play, because we had a little bit too many people, right? I'd almost always just have 5 people to play pubs with, and that was a blast. Like seeing people's skill levels, seeing what they knew and what you could teach them. Like for me personally, I really like to impart Dota knowledge, so and like high level movement and stuff is really fun. And having people around that are all super competitive and willing to learn, I thought was just great. Like when we played the 5-on-5s and I would just say something and almost everybody would just trust me and listen, was such a great feeling. So that was my favorite. That was my highlight. Just like playing pubs, like playing with Hotbid was like a lot of fun because he was always willing to learn. And
I learned a
same
lot.
with like Nahaz.
I think that I rekindled my love of Dota. Not that it was waning or anything. Just I had a lot more fun playing.
Fuck you, Microsoft. Try Office for 1 month. They had to make a fucking noise and ruin the broadcast for that. God damn it. Sorry.
Fine.
Sorry. Continue, Hotbid.
I was just saying that I really enjoyed playing with someone like an in-game leader that could tell me what to do, because a lot of the times I don't trust the person that's like maybe I do trust them, but they're 4K and I'm 4K, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't have the blind trust. Whereas even if you're wrong, I just don't care, you know, like because I just assume what you're saying is right, and it's nice to have that peace of mind, even if it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good transition. I want to talk about Purge's miracle run through the Shanghai Open qualifiers.
All right, for those that didn't watch any of the videos, we got top 4 in NA on our second try. First day we got top 32. We were a little disappointed with our run, but we got to replay the same team that knocked us out the first time. And we beat them the second time, so that felt good. And our roster was Merlini played carry. We had Monib play mid, Capitalist was off lane, and me and Malk were playing support. I was 5, he was 4. So it was really fun. We just kind of did it for fun, just to see how far we could get, and we ended up going really far. And we streamed it the whole time, and a lot of viewers watched it, so that was exciting as well. I think the best thing about it is that everybody was just really calm. So even like if I'd feed or other people would play bad, like nobody really cared that much. It wasn't a big deal. We weren't very high stress about it. Like we were all very competitive, but everybody was really easygoing about it. So it just made it a lot more fun, I thought. That was my favorite thing about it.
Expectations?
No, not just that. I mean, it doesn't matter what your expectations are. You can play a pub and sometimes people get salty, you know? Like we were playing semi-serious and sometimes people would make major mistakes. It had to be like the one time the one crazy comeback we had, I died after Tusk had died, Capitalist. So then I made it a 3v5. So then they got like 2 racks out of it instead of 1 racks. And that made the game way harder than it had to be because I did something stupid. And then there was later in that game where Ben like bought back and died a second time. He died back, and that made the game a lot harder. But everybody was relaxed about it. It's like, whatever, you know, mistakes happen. Nobody freaked out about it, and it transitioned nicely into keeping morale up. And I think that was a large part of us going that far, I think. So it just made it more fun to play. If morale is really high, the games are just, there's no stress about them, and it makes everybody play better.
When I was watching the first day,
Mm-hmm.
Chobra was sitting next to me, and he just asked me, what are their chances to actually qualify for it? And I said basically, I think I said basically no chance.
Yeah, I would agree. It was like less than 2%.
You guys got wrecked by that team, right? And that, I forget what round that was. That was like a relatively early round.
32. Yeah, they outplayed us, and we made a couple of big mistakes.
Yeah, and I remember saying every team from then on is probably better than that team.
Yeah.
So they probably have no chance. And so the next day, we're both watching it just for fun, and you guys are just winning game after game, and we were just, the dream's happening. And then that game happened where you guys were at down 2 Raxes, and
Yeah,
Roland had to buy a rapier.
Yeah.
And then you guys somehow won that game. And at that point, I was convinced you guys were going to qualify.
Really?
And I said, all the stars are aligning. This is going to happen. These casters are going to make it. And then when you guys got crushed by that team in the best of 3, like the first game of that best of 3.
Unknown.
Yeah. And then I was talking to Chobra, and I just said, I believe, because this is like some fairy tale shit that's happening. And you guys won that second game against Unknown. I said, this team beat Digital Chaos. Like, I was like, this team went to the Frankfurt major. Like, what's happening? And then there was just like Kawa's also in the office.
Yeah.
It's like, they're winning, from his desk. So like everyone was watching. It was pretty exciting.
That's cool. Yeah, it was really fun to play. We super messed up our first game against Unknown. Ben forgot to skill Windrun, and then I fed like a shitload against Bounty Hunter. So we got kind of wrecked that game. Game 2 was really fun. We were really excited when we won that. Like, that was all I wanted to do, was win one game against them. And we lost. We could have won game 3. We made a couple mistakes. We made a bad call in a team fight, and then things just kind of drew down after that. But it was pretty fun. It was really fun to play against them. So we were very happy. I think I would have been happy getting to like round of 8 or 16. I think I would have been content with. And we got round of 4, and we took a game off the best of 3. So it was really nice. We all felt really good about it.
What did you think about their play?
It was pretty good. I think some people overperformed. Like, as in they just played better than I expected them to. Like, Jacob was a lot better than...
You always make fun of Jacob.
He does,
but when it comes...
He's all over the place when you play pubs.
When he plays pubs, he's just like, I'm going to jungle Bloodseeker and get an Iron Talon and then a Midas and then a Boots of Travel and then Dagon 5 and never help you. And it's just infuriating.
Yeah.
But when it comes to competitive play, like, sometimes I even forget that this guy got top 4 at TI1. They were the best finishing Western team at TI2, and he played with people like Bulba, Universe, Sphere, and he was the captain. Like, sometimes just being around Jacob, you forget that he has such a storied history with Dota.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this guy was the captain for Dota 1, like, alongside like Puppy and people like that. And I just kind of let that slip out of my head because he's such an idiot. And he owns it. It's just like, it's the way he is, he's like a clown. So you forget that he actually has a high level of Dota knowledge. And so when I watched him play, I watched all the replays. I was just really impressed with his overall game sense and his movement. I was really impressed with Ben. I thought he definitely went up in my books. Like, his individual play, he made some mechanical errors that really cost them sometimes, but his overall game knowledge and his game sense was really high.
Yeah,
I think there's a huge difference. For me personally, what determines a good player versus just somebody you just say is bad is the information that you give. Like, anybody can call, oh, Earthshaker has a Blink Dagger. Oh, this guy has this. But it's a completely different thing to be able to say, they're here, they're smoking now, they're probably roshing, we should engage the fight like this. Like, that's good information. That's not just like mindlessly listing stuff off, right? That's such a huge difference from what you get in pubs or even when you see low-level scrim teams play. Like, I coach a team that's around 4 to 5K, and none of their comms are worthwhile because it's just they just list information that anybody can see. It's what it really comes down to is like the guesswork, the leadership. That's really what impressed me about Officer Merlini. I thought Cap underperformed a little. I thought Cap could have played a little bit better, but
That
he's been out of.
inflated EU MMR. Clearly.
I think
They're
he
the
just
same
got
MMR.
tilted.
They're both 6K.
Yeah. He's a good player. He just sometimes he tilts a little bit. He can sometimes have bad games. That's the only thing about Cap, I think.
I thought Monib was if you guys got him as hero, he played really well. If sometimes he would tilt too. Like he was a little inconsistent, but that'll go away over time. I actually think for him, if he just took every game seriously, he'd get so much better. But I think he clowns around too much, and so it limits his overall potential.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because for me personally, most of the people that I know that play competitively, almost all of them, they take every game seriously. Even pub games with their friends and stuff, they're just in it to win. And it's kind of like an asshole mentality, but it's sort of what you need, right? Because you need to be a killer when you play against these top teams. There's got to be like no fear, no hesitation.
Yeah.
I thought Kevin played actually really well. I think the only thing that I was a little bit disappointed in was I thought you got flustered a little bit too much. And sometimes I would see your spell usage was like a little bit inefficient. But overall, I thought you were pretty surprising for me. I mean, the team was good. Like that was a dream run for sure.
Blitz, why don't you play?
With what?
You should just play in a fun stack like that. What's wrong?
I don't think I could. I really don't think I could.
Why?
I thought about this for a really long time, and because Jacob asked me originally to play, I was supposed to be the mid for that team, and I would just get way too frustrated. Like, for me, there's no in between. I can't just like play for fun. I have to either not be competitive at all, or I have to be like full on try hard, and there'd be way too many expectations. I would argue a lot with people. Like, I'd get frustrated really easily. Like, something that irritates me is like when people just like randomly take runes when I'm like mid with a bottle, and I saw that happen so often. Like Monib would like run down for a rune, and then like a rune would just be taken. I'd be like, I would actually be fuming there. So I there's just no chill with me. It's like I have to win.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about that run purge?
Yeah, I agree with what Blitz said about assessments. In terms of my own play, I think I played really bad the first qualifier, but the second qualifier I did a lot better. I still had a couple of games where I overfed. I think that was the biggest mistakes that I made, but other than that, I was happy with how I did.
To be fair, I think everyone kind of played badly the first day. When I watched the VODs, like Cap just was not adjusting his play to competitive play, so he just played really greedy in the off lane and like die a shit ton.
In his defense, he only played Abaddon that day, and then the day after he played a lot of Tusk, and Tusk was a lot better tactically than Abaddon. I think he played much better day 2.
I just talked with him about it, and he was just like, I have to adjust my play so because these guys are actually decent and they have communication. Yeah. And their focus is to zone out the offlaner.
He's scared. He was so indecisive. The first qualifier I watched, he felt like he played scared or like indecisive.
Yeah,
he wasn't sure.
I agree
about what he was gonna do.
He was the only player on the team that did that. I thought a couple times he wouldn't go in instantly when we made calls.
Yeah, it's a confidence thing. I think maybe the second qualifier he just YOLO'd a little bit more. Do that with Tusk, right?
Yeah.
And it'd be the right decision a lot of times. That went really a lot better for him.
Yeah, it was really fun.
You guys got some cred, some competitive cred.
Yeah. I gotta ask, how far do you think you guys would have gotten if you played EU?
Much less far, obviously. I think that's pretty clear. Like everybody always joke like, oh, we should play against Stake, but Stake would easily shit on us. They beat us in they basically beat us in every single lane in terms of individual skill in every position. So I don't think we would have gotten nearly as far if we were on EU. I think we would have lost at least like 2 sets earlier.
That's not the fun answer, Purge. Come on.
Well, it's
You
the
need to be
reality,
like-
man.
You need to say. You need to just trash. They're never gonna know. Like, come.
Yeah, I'm sure none of
You
them
guys
will.
are never gonna.
Are you
guys
kidding,
never
dude?
gonna-
If you ever say anything negative about another Dota player, one of their fans will go and tell them on Twitter, "Yo, Purge was talking shit about you." It happens all the time, dude. One fan is gonna be like, "Oh, this will be really funny if I incite drama."
No,
I
I
fucking
meant
hate
more
those
like
people.
you guys would never actually settle it.
I don't know. Half the time, I don't even talk to those. I talk to very, very few players. Like, I'm too socially awkward. I'm like, I don't want to impose my friendship on this pro player that people probably impose friendship on all the time. Like, I don't even know if they know who I am half the time. So it's like, man, all you gotta do
remember
is
watching-
criticize one guy and shit comes back.
I remember watching like the EU qual, and I know like for pub games, everyone always makes the comparison between NA and stuff, but for sure the EU quals were insane. Like even the round of 32, all those teams were like really decent. Like I could see any of those teams getting easy top 4 in NA.
Yeah, and basically what it comes down to is EU has 2 times as many players as NA does. Like, there's twice as many players, so naturally their teams are going to be better. And maybe they are, on average, more skilled and talented, but it's like the same as the gender issue. There's more of them because there's more players, therefore the quality of team is going to be higher for that region. So
Yeah.
playing EU is definitely not good if you're trying to get an easy invite.
You guys just would have had more fun anyway.
Yeah.
NA is the place to be. Come on, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like we're trying to win anyway, so it's perfect that we're in NA, because we were just trying to get far. Like, that's it.
I was impressed. The unknown win was legit. That was like the one where I was like, these guys aren't bad.
They did do a little bit of throwing that game, per usual.
They
but-
really did not take you
Nope.
guys seriously.
Yeah,
They were like dropping items and stuff. That's so funny.
yeah.
What
It
a
would have been
team.
crazy if we beat them 3rd round. That would have been game 3. We were
They would have
ahead.
tilted
But,
so hard. That would've
yeah.
been-
I think actually there was a point where when they lost the second game, they were just like, oh shit, like this is actually happening right now.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah. They definitely got a little upset, or at least a little worried. Like, they barely shit talked it all game 3. They tried really hard because we were kind of winning that
Yeah.
game.
They're like, we're gonna lose to casters. Well,
Just like
Yeah.
we're
I mean,
gonna
those
lose to
guys-
Casters.
those guys
No.
beat Newbie in a best of 1. Like that's a legit team.
Yeah. By transitive theory, you took a game off of the TI4 champions.
Yeah, totally. Same thing. Yeah, that would have been fun. All right, I think we talked about the open qualifiers enough. How about the regional qualifiers? joinDota didn't do anything for it, it seemed. You guys covered some of the open qualifiers, but you guys didn't do any regional, correct?
Yes, you'd be right there.
Okay. And I think that's an okay decision, honestly, because, you know, it's kind of, it's a grind, you know? Like, if that happens every 3 months, and so every 3 months you have like a 1 week period where you cover the shit out of the qualifiers and you do like 24-hour streams, I feel like it's too taxing on the casters. So what you need to do actually is not cover 24 hours if you don't have enough people. Like BTS obviously could handle it because they flew in a lot of people, and the RU hubs can handle it because they fly in a lot of people. But upon us trying to do a 24-hour, I don't think we would do a 24-hour again with just our talent. I think we would, at the very least, go down to like a 12-hour stream or something and just cover like 1.5 regions. I think that would have been better for us. I'm not sure how you feel about it, Will.
I mean, for joinDota personally, the way that we looked at it was, we figured after we did the WCA product, we were pretty unhappy about the way that went. So we were just kind of just like, okay, let's reevaluate and reassess like our priorities and how we want to do broadcast.
Okay.
And we realized if we competed, we would just be doing a grind, and like none of us would be having fun.
Yep.
And I think we kind of want to step away from that, just put out like a better product overall. So we just opted to skip it altogether. And
I think it was a good choice, honestly.
yeah, I was exhausted after WCA. It's like, this is terrible. I never want to do something like this
Yeah,
again.
and BTS got a lot more viewers than you guys. How did you feel about the fact that they were streaming it? Do you feel like they crossed the line with rights or anything like that? Because normally people just don't touch that kind of a thing, and I feel like they may have done it in a bid to give their casters a higher chance to going to the Shanghai major, perhaps.
I mean, for me personally, I wasn't salty about it at all. Like, I don't really like that. Doesn't really matter as long as my cast is good and I was happy with the product that I put out. I know that sounds like such a PC answer, but it's just true. Like, I love the BTS guys. You know me. I was the one that helped them find their house originally in LA. I go over there all the time when I can. So when I saw them, I was like,
them.
yeah, exactly. Like, my sister works with them. There's like no bad blood. If there's any casting person that has no bad blood with them, it's me. So
You hate them. Don't bullshit.
That's
Come on.
clear.
We know you hate them.
I disowned my sister. Yeah, but I mean, it's a little bit sad, I guess. Is it just like I look over at the stream, I'm like, man, we're getting crushed. But at the end of the day, it kind of does show that, again, casting's first and foremost about entertainment, and they put out a more entertaining product than us. And
They also just have the brand, man. They got the brand.
They have the Twitch followers, etc.
Because I remember they had a bunch of casters that I didn't know about on their stream, and they still had like 20, 30K. And people, they were, in my opinion, just...
I think, as long as they have some of the dudes.
No, but even then, it was like, I watched Owen and Draskell stream, and those are pretty tier 1 casters, right? And then on the BTS stream, it was like Blaze, Shane, and Llama, I think, and it was like 20K versus like 5K. So the BTS brand name is definitely still incredibly strong.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to compete with that.
Purge, who do we have to blame for moonduck and chill? Whose idea was that? Are you gonna call out someone right now?
No, I think it was a fine idea. The problem was that we got last minute. We got a sponsor to cast some games, like in a real sense. So then we basically split our talent in 2 ways. Originally, we thought it was going to be all of our moonduck people on moonduck and chill pretty much consistently. But then we went off to go do casting. So like often Mott would be there, or I would be there, or we had Mott Packs doing a lot of that casting. So it's like rather than actually focusing on that, we ended up splitting ourselves so thin that we just like screwed our product entirely. Like our casts were fine, but then moonduck and chill became crappy. So I think it would have been a lot better and a lot more fun to watch if we were able to actually just focus all of our best efforts on moonduck and chill. So next time we do it, I think we do similar thing, but not split our casting in 2 ways. And then I think the product would have been better.
It's so hard to do a 24-hour stream without having on most of the time.
And even if we did, we would lose viewers to BTS. So is it worth like killing ourselves for like very little ad revenue? And like, how are you supposed to get a sponsor if BTS has like 30K the viewership no matter what? No matter who they put on there, they're going to get all the viewers. So you can't sell that to an advertiser then to say like, oh, by the way, we're only going to have about 2,000 to 3,000 viewers, so you should definitely sponsor us over giving money to somebody like BTS, you know? Like, it kills any smaller studio's ability to get sponsorships from doing the qualifier, and Valve's obviously not paying people to cover it. So it's like, why would we even cover it? But then we have to, because if we don't, then it limits our exposure and limits our ability to even go to the major in the first place. So in a lot of ways, BTS has kind of a monopoly in terms of broadcasting. Like, obviously, we can still compete against it, but it's very little. Like, if somebody's more popular, they will get like 90%, 80%, 90% of the viewership, I feel. So
I think we're lucky in that regard, BTS or joinDota.
Because
me, Toby, and Cap are pretty established brands.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, so it's like, if I don't cover the major qualifiers, I still know that like my position is okay in the scene, right?
Yeah.
You just can't
still count on
cover
going to
2
a major.
qualifiers. If you skip 1 qualifier, that's probably okay. If you skip 2 to 3 major events, then people start forgetting that you exist.
Whereas Moonduck is kind of in a bad place now, because if we don't have that exposure, then people think that we're not doing anything, and obviously we got screwed on a lot of contracts. So, if we don't do that coverage, then we might get left behind, because I'm on the edge, Zairi's on the edge, a lot of our people are on the edge. Even Slex might not make it to the Shanghai Major, for example. So if we're losing in that battle, and the people making the decisions don't watch our casts because they're busy watching BTS, then we'll be less fresh in their minds, and it's going to like overall lead to a lot of snowballing that could just mean that we don't make majors for a while. There's a lot of things that are really hurting us right now, I think, from that aspect.
You guys have a captain's draft coming up, right?
Yes, it's starting very soon. We just announced it finally yesterday. It should be pretty exciting. I think it's going to be very good. I don't know how much I should talk about in terms of announcements, so I just won't say anything, but I think it'll give us a really good chance to actually showcase what we can do and what we've been ready to do for like 3 months. We just haven't had a tournament to cover it. So we finally said, fuck it, we're going to have to do our own tournament because clearly people don't want to take a chance at us. And a lot of cases, they'll just opt for BTS over us because BTS is guaranteed viewers and guaranteed expectation of what to get. So hopefully it'll go well. I'm sure it will, but hopefully the games are good. It's fun to watch Captain's Draft anyways, so.
You guys have any thoughts on the actual qualifier results? 'Cause I only watched North America pretty much. Europe,
me too.
I caught some of it, but I mostly just watched NA.
Yeah, me too. I mostly caught NA. I have not many thoughts, I guess. NA seemed pretty straightforward, I guess. I was sad that DC lost. I was rooting for them. I felt like they could have won that best of 3, but they just got a little outplayed consistently. That's too bad.
I'm really happy for Fluff.
Yeah, that part I was really excited about. I was like, nice. Like, I wanted Fluff to win, so I was happy with that. I was like, it's okay. DC will win the second half, But then
I
lost
thought DC was gonna beat Complexity too, so
yeah.
I feel bad for Bulba. I always cheer for the Liquid guys, the old Liquid guys, but
yeah, I'm pretty similar. So I was sad for them. That really sucked. I thought that they were gonna make it. Watching them lose was tough.
You believe that Archon will do better than Unknown at Shanghai, as Unknown did in Frankfurt?
That I'm not so sure about. They have obviously had an upswing. They were playing better during the qualifier than they had been in the past, but I don't know if that'll necessarily translate to them doing better than Unknown. Unknown had the power of like not giving a shit, because no matter what, they were gonna place money, and considering the country they were from, the earnings that they got from it was equivalent to like a year's wage. So they basically profited super hard. I think there's a little bit more pressure on Archon, but I think they also already succeeded expectations by getting there. So I don't know. We'll see. I could see them
Brian
doing
puts
okay.
a lot.
Sorry, go ahead.
I know. I said I know Brian puts a lot on himself as a player. Like he really wants to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of pressure, it can be really good in the sense of the fact that they made the qualifiers, but it can backfire too because sometimes I think he overthinks him a little bit and he gets in his own head. But and the team clearly has talent. I think that I don't know if they'll beat Unknown's run because Unknown was really just YOLO. Like
Yeah.
newbie's probably just sitting there thinking like what the hell's going on?
Like I think that team, that Unknown team, was almost entirely unaffected by pressure. They just didn't give a fuck about anything. Even during the pre-interview shooting, they just didn't care. Like, I've never seen a teenager in a big situation care so little about the pressure and stakes. Honestly, maybe that was just what they conveyed. But
I think they genuinely were just like, eh.
I mean, I think that was also partially just because of the fact that they were kind of new to it, Like, if you compare how people act now in the Dota scene compared to how they acted at TI1, for example, like, people try-harded, but it's not the same levels. Like, people didn't plan drafts nearly as much as they do now, and there's, like, a lot of factors that have really advanced in the last couple years. Whereas Unknown's, like, new to the pro scene, they probably don't understand how to, like, super hardcore train as a competitive team. They don't have those base levels of training down. And that might be why they look less serious. And put that on top of the fact that they play extremely YOLO all the time anyways, yes, but...
But I feel like they didn't really even... Not that they didn't understand the situation, but I don't think they were, like, old enough to appreciate it, so there was no pressure. They were just like, okay, this is cool. We're in another country. This is fun. Go to the mall after we play.
Isn't that what they say about, like... I remember I was watching something about, like, the Chinese gymnasts that were super young, and they were saying it's a competitive advantage because the super young Chinese gymnasts, they have no fear. They don't care what happens.
Yeah, they've never fallen. Like, they've never fallen on a pommel horse or whatever.
That stuck with me like my entire. I'm not even kidding. I always remember that.
Yeah, that's what Pycat said. Well, if you've never lost mid, you have no fear. That's a miracle right now. He's lost so few times.
I genuinely, the more that I think about it, though, the more I think about it, it's completely true. Like, those guys, I really think that everyone's like, oh, he's so young. When it comes to somebody like Sumail, and they're like, well, he's going to falter when it comes to the big LAN stage. But I think it's the opposite. I think these really young guys, they're just used to playing at home. They're just completely chill. They don't think about the pressure. They don't think that this could be their livelihood. They're just like,
a bigger proportion of their life has been spent playing Dota, so they have like stronger instincts almost. You know, like something like 70% of Sumail's life has been playing Dota, and then he probably doesn't even he's so young that he probably just thinks he has so many years to go that it's just like, oh, this is just another. This international is not my last one. It's just another international. Whereas if you're like an old veteran, you might be like, this might be my last chance to make money, like this kind of money, you know? Feel it.
Yeah. All right, so that is the regional qualifiers that we covered 1/4 of the way, and now we are into random topics, life topics. First off, I want to start off with Star Wars because we talked about that briefly in the previous podcast, and Blitz, you hadn't seen that many Star Wars movies, but you did see the new one, right?
Yeah, I saw the new one. I actually went back and watched some of the older ones for Hotbid's sake.
Really?
Okay.
Which one?
I saw the one where Luke goes to like some swamp or something.
That's the Return of the Jedi.
You know
Did you watch them out of order?
I just like randomly
Blitz,
went online and looked
can't
some up.
say I watched the one where he goes to the swamp. That's Empire Strikes Back.
What? Is it? Did he go? Oh, did he go in both of them? No. Wasn't that
No,
Return of the Jedi?
Didn't he go to Dagobah?
Oh yeah, he did.
after
You're right.
Han?
You're right. He went to both. He went there both times, both movies. All right. Was it the
No.
one where he was exploring the swamp?
No,
Or the
it's
one?
the one where he meets Yoda,
No,
right?
it's one where he meets Yoda.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
Empire.
yeah.
Okay. How did you like that one?
It was pretty good. I've been watching a bunch of old movies, and I kind of understand the appeal of them now. Because before I was just like, oh, there's no point. They're old movies. But now I kind of get it.
What got it for you?
I mean, it was just good storytelling. Like, I was engaged the entire time. I enjoyed it. Even though the graphics were super out of date and stuff,
Yeah.
I
Can
still
you imagine
I
what
still
it must
just
have been
had
like
fun.
watching that movie when the graphics were in date?
Yeah,
It must have been like an experience.
like watching Avatar.
Not even
Maybe.
like that, because Avatar was like, it was amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think we're ever gonna have a technological advance in a movie where it just blows us away because we have the internet and we know what's coming. I
Yeah.
think like Star Wars just hit everyone and no one had any idea that they could have graphics like that. People just went into the theater, they had no clue what to expect, and then they see these starships that look real and everyone just goes fucking apeshit. That's what I want to have, that experience, but I don't think we can have that. That's like if we had a holodeck at like a
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
an
the only
amusement
way.
park.
Has
Yeah,
to be
like
like
a holodeck.
VR.
Yeah, VR, like a crazy VR experience that you just did not expect at all. That's the equivalent, I guess. But what did you think of the movie?
Of the newest Star Wars?
Yeah.
I saw it twice. I saw it once with Milk and my girlfriend, and then I saw it once with LD and Aosin and stuff. And I enjoyed it a lot. I thought that it was pretty entertaining. Some of the references I didn't get because I think they were just like stuff I hadn't seen before.
Like, do you have any
But-
examples, or do you not remember?
Like I kind of when the gold dude appears or whatever,
C3PO.
and everyone in the theater went crazy. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like I didn't really quite understand
he was
that.
in Empire Strikes Back, so
Was he?
Are you kidding?
Shit.
He was like
I-
he was like the BB-8 of the original. Like he was in fucking every other scene.
No, I thought that was the blue one, R2D2.
It was both. They were a pair.
he gets disassembled in the Cloud City. You don't remember that part?
No.
What? Did
Maybe
you even
I
watch
just-
the movie?
Yeah, I did. I kind of played solo queue at the same
Played
time.
Dota
Yeah,
while
you
watching.
obviously
Oh my
didn't watch the
God.
movies if you don't know who C3PO.
That's how I watch all my movies, though. That's how I watch Die
You gotta
Hard.
pay attention, bro.
Maybe-
Die Hard doesn't. There's no like Die Hard like is
Dude.
good, and you don't.
Maybe you just
Okay.
enjoyed the movies because you played really well in your Dota games and fucking wrecked everybody. And it's like,
my-
wow, what a
my
great
CPU
movie.
is, like, colored.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Let's can watch like The Godfather and be like, this movie's terrible. I lost a game with Storm Spirit during this movie. What a terrible
but-
movie.
I enjoyed. I thought the movie overall was really good. I liked the humor was pretty funny. Like
What was your favorite character?
and I think it was actually Poe Dameron. Thought he was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That guy's in every movie now. Oscar Isaac.
He just kind of screams charisma. Like you just want to like him. That's
Yeah,
I think that was
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
He's a very he's a very good singer performer.
He's a musician. Is that what you're saying? He sings.
Yeah, he started out as a musician.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
And well, what would you give it out of 10, Blitz?
Probably the first time around, I gave it like a 9. The second time around on second viewing, like 8.58.
Yeah, I was thinking 8 or 9. It wasn't a perfect movie, and the story was like almost exactly a copy of A New Hope, but as a whole, I thought the humor was good. I was very happy with it. Oh, I also got spoiled, by the way, before I saw it. I was really upset when I read it. I was browsing through all, even though I had read that you shouldn't read that because people from the 4chan subreddit. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I got spoiled by a Reddit post, and I read the spoiler, and I won't say what it is, but I read it, and I was like, oh my god, I just got spoiled, and I was like, forget it, but I couldn't forget it, of course. And then I realized, and then after like 30 seconds, I was like, why do I fucking care? I don't give a fuck about the plot of Star Wars. I'm about the universe and like exploring the universe and like learning things about the universe. Like that's the stuff that I liked about Star Wars. I was like, why do I give a shit about the plot? And then I realized it didn't bother me at all. And then I felt invulnerable because I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck about getting spoiled anymore. I don't have to worry about getting spoiled because literally I can't get spoiled anymore. I felt pretty good. And it overall didn't really affect how I mean, yeah, I saw something coming that like earlier than I should have, but it was fine. Getting spoiled wasn't that big of a deal. It was way more worried about, I thought, than how bad the actual spoiler was, at least to me.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. I thought there were obviously weaknesses in it, but you know, for a movie that has this many expectations, that can crush this many expectations and have so many people have so much writing on it,
Mm-hmm.
I think it did pretty good. It could have been so bad, you know.
I think that's why they made the plot like it was. Like I said, it was a repeat of A New Hope.
They were like so worried. They were like, just, oh man, like we can't fuck this up. So let's make it exactly like it. People might make fun of it for being similar, but they won't hate it.
Yeah, we'll just make it good. It'll be exactly how it was, but it'll be good. And that's what they did. That was really smart, I think.
I thought the girl was a little too strong. But you know, there's not a lot of female characters that are like that.
Are you saying they went too overly like, let's make her a perfect role model?
They went too ham on Rey. She was a little OP. If she was a Dota hero, she would have gotten nerfed in the next patch for sure. She just did everything. She was like, she could pilot a spaceship. She was a lightsaber.
She had no faults. You're saying
passionate. She was like nice. She was funny. She was very attractive. You know, like everything. She could even run really fast. You know, just like everything was going great, and I think that was fine because, as I said, like there's not a lot of big budget movies that have a female character that's like that. So it's okay to maybe have it once or twice. And Luke kind of was like that in the previous movies. He was good at everything. He was like a good pilot. He could do everything decently well. Maybe had a few extra weaknesses, but you know that's fine.
I see what you mean.
You just don't like those Mary Sue characters?
I mean, I like the Game of Thrones verse because it's very like grayish, and everyone has their faults, and they're like realistic faults. They're not circumstantial faults. Like if you're like, and I understand that I'm saying this about Game of Thrones, and Daenerys is kind of a Mary Sue, but a lot of the characters aren't. I don't like the characters that their only weakness is that their parents abandoned them or something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I would like that each person to be like have some sort of like ness or something that I can relate to that makes them a human and not a superhero.
Yeah, you can definitely criticize the movie for being too safe, I think, and that's what it comes down to. Like they had no good female role models in the first movie that wasn't Leia. Like she was like the only female, so.
But yeah.
By the way, were there any Asians in the movie, like we talked about before?
Oh, there was. There was that Asian general dude.
Yeah, that was the only one I thought of.
I saw him, so that's good. Other than that, no. I think there's an Asian blind guy in Rogue One. I think.
Rogue One? What are you talking about?
Someone hoodwinked me into thinking he was a Jedi. I forget who it was. It might have been Ebony, the OG manager linked some article saying that episode 8 was going to have an Asian Jedi, and I got so excited, and then I found out it was just like a pilot in Rogue One.
Okay.
I was sad about that, but one day we'll get there. Blitz,
Dude, if they covered the females and the blacks in one movie, they're definitely gonna cover Asians in the next one, guaranteed.
They're gonna get Asians in the next one.
They're hitting all the demographics,
so.
dude. That was clear.
I hope so, man. Get the Asians, get a Mexican in there. There's a lot of Hispanic people in the United States.
On a side note, I'm talking to Bulba right now, or he's Twitter DMing me, and he puts me in a conversation with him, me, and Jerry, and he's like, how does it feel like to be the least successful person among the Goon Squad? And it's like, how do I even feel bad for DC when he messages me this stuff?
Wait, what?
Is he flaming you right now?
Yeah, he's just like...
Yeah. Dude,
and then I said... I was like, where the fuck are you right now?
Hold on. How are you the least successful person in that group?
Yeah, that's what I said. And then I said, where the fuck are you right now? And he's like, I lost a major qualifier. I'm so sad. Can't you comfort me after flaming the shit out of me? What the hell?
Yeah, dude, I actually played a pub with a lot of the people that lost the qualifiers right after the qualifiers ended. I played with MSS, and we played a game against Way Too Sexy, and I was playing with Bulba as well, and they just, like, flamed the shit out of each other the whole time. Like, they were, like, pretty mean, like, just the whole time. And, it was, like, a lot of the people that lost the qualifiers. MSS, Bulba was there, we queued up against Way Too, we were against him, and they were just talking to each other. It was like playing an IXDL or something. Like, they were just mean to each other, being like, how's it feel to have fucking lost? And then they'd, like, tell each other, they'd, like, bring up the games that their opponents had played bad. They'd be like, oh, Bulba, how did it feel when you're playing so-and-so hero and you fucking sucked at it, you know? Shit like that. They were just so mean to each other the whole time. It's just, like, in their culture to, like, flame each other about Dota when they're real sad. I'm not saying it's good or right or anything, but they definitely do that shit. It was weird.
What are your guys' New Year's resolutions?
I don't do that shit.
Blitz, do you have one? If you don't have one, I don't have one. So.
Do you actually have one, or?
I can think of one right now.
I have one, yeah.
Okay, well, what's your New Year's resolution?
So I'll preface this by saying, my sister and Ben always ride me hard about never calling home. Like Ben especially, for some reason.
Yeah, that was so funny.
I'll like message Merlini on Steam. I'll be like, hey, what's up? And he's like, what's up is that you haven't called your mom in 2 months. And he'll just
God.
He'll just lecture me for like
Wait,
5
you don't call
minutes.
your mom for 2 months?
I mean, sometimes it just slips by.
I'm kind of the same, to be honest.
That's brutal though.
So
2 months is long.
Yeah.
Recently, I had a death in the family, and so I was like, I should definitely be a little bit better of a family member. So that was my New Year's resolution.
Mine's, I had to think of one right now, and honestly, it's gonna sound super dumb compared to yours. So I don't know how to follow that up. Like, how am I supposed to follow that up? What the fuck? Death in the family. You should have went after me, dude. What the fuck?
You told me you didn't have one, so you me to go first.
You're putting me on the spot now. Okay, I have to think of a serious one now. Okay, my New Year's resolution is to be more positive about stuff and just like try more at things in my social life. I just want to try and not be a shut-in all the time. Maybe that's my New Year's resolution. That's better. No, I will put myself out there, less comfort zone, more try new things.
Oh,
that will be my New Year's resolution.
I want to hit 6K more, which I think I can do in less than 6 months.
Blitz, you gotta coach me, man. I need to hit 5K.
Dude,
I'm like 500. I'm like 500 points away. Let's go.
That's a long ways.
We could do that so easily.
But Blitz says that, but he never makes time.
Because no, you have to message me too.
If you coach me, what's the easiest way? Is it mid?
No, you can do whatever your comfort zone is. I've actually been playing support on my Smurf, and getting to 6K is surprisingly easy playing support.
It's not hard to get to raise MMR playing support. Everybody thinks it's fucking impossible. No. But it's not bad.
When I read these Reddit posts like, oh, I played at 5K, what are these guys doing? I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even hard to support my core that gets like 30 CS at 10 minutes even. Because almost nobody's playing proper support. Mm-hmm. So I'll just go dual offlane. I'll roam around the map Bamboe style. I'll get a bunch of kills. I'll I'll tell my 4th position or jungler. Normally it's a jungler. I'm like, I'll buy every ward. Don't worry about it. And then he gets farmed by the end of the game, and I'm a good enough player that I can play the positioning game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like we just stomp. I just checked my stats or whatever. My versatility on that account is like 0.9.
All right,
and I
you gotta
play.
teach me. This is what I have to learn. You gotta teach me everything, all positions. Okay.
Dude, that's gonna lower your. You won't gain as fast that way. You know. You gotta focus on one role. That's the best way to raise MMR.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
We'll offlane Blitz. Okay. You teach me offlane, and we'll do it.
Fluff once told me that he says people, for example, on Reddit really, or on the internet in general, incredibly overrate your ability to play everything. Like, if you're really good at one role, chances are you're gonna be decent at everything. That's the way that it goes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they really overrate their ability to play just anything. And I think that's the case for people that watch the Mafia stream and think they would read everyone instantly.
Yeah, that's
Have you ever looked at the Mafia chat? Like, they don't understand how difficult it is if they're actually in the situation, and that's why if you watch the chat for the spoiler game, everyone's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
The one where we don't show.
That's why I wanted to do that.
No one brings that up. They're all like, "Oh, maybe I was just wrong that one time." No, dude, you suck at reading people, and you have confirmation bias because you see on the top it says who's Mafia, so you just watch that person and you say, "Oh, I would have picked that out." No, you wouldn't have, dude.
Yeah.
You'd be awful at Mafia. Don't try and pretend that you'd be amazing at reading people in real life. Mafia's like a practice thing. We've played so many games of it, and that's why we can do it. If you've never played Mafia before and you think you're gonna be fucking amazing the first time you play, you are wrong.
Yeah. All you haters are probably ODPixels.
Yeah, they're all like, "Oh, I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna be able to pinpoint who it is." No, dude, you're gonna be wrong. And you're gonna feed, and you're gonna be so surprised that you suck.
Never seen Hotbid get so impassioned about something right now.
No, but seriously, if you look at the chat, everyone's like, "It's so obvious. It's this guy." No, it's not. It's not obvious.
Man, reading Bamboe's Twitter during that was the best.
I know Bamboe. Like, I would have picked all of them.
salty.
I would have gotten all of them.
That's
I
my
wanted him
number
to be
one
there,
request. I will pay for Bamboe to be there if I have to. It's so good.
I mean, we should get some players for the next time. I would like to see. I would like at TI. No Tail and like Misery and Jerax played with us, and Jerax actually pulled off the craziest fucking run I've ever seen, and he was 1 Mafia against 13 Town, and he won.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. He fake claimed Cop, and he won. Not one time did anyone in those 13 rounds think, "Why is the Cop still alive? Why is the Cop still alive?"
Can I point out something about
round.
that? Can I point out something about that game that I remember?
Yeah.
So Misery's about to die, and he sets out a plan for the rest of them. Like, he's like, "Guys, ignore that fucker," because he's talking about Jerax. He's like, "Okay, ignore Jerax and LD. Let's just say they're both Mafia." They're like, he's like, "When I die, we vote this guy off, and then you guys vote this guy off." And he sets like a plan that's like foolproof. It really is. It's almost guaranteed failsafe. So then he tells Shiver, he's like, "You have to follow through with this plan." So promptly the Mafia kills him, like Jerax kills him, and then they ignore the plan completely, and then they just like listen to Jerax, even though Misery spent like 5 minutes impressing upon them like repeatedly that they had to kill Jerax.
It was really like 9 rounds in a row of a Cop surviving and no one being like, "Huh?
No,
this guy's
Misery
still
did
alive.
Misery
Why is he
did.
still
He's like,
alive after 9 rounds."
dude,
I don't
Misery
get it.
was the one that got it. He was like, "How the fuck is he still?" You know, in the Misery fashion that he does it. He's like, "How the fuck is he still alive?" He's like, "We have to kill him," and he literally set this plan up. I was so brilliant. I was modding that game. I was like, "Wow, Misery won them this game." Then he dies, and Shiver's like, "Okay, we kill this guy." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that game wasn't maybe the best example. I didn't see it, but
great.
That's a really good point. It's like, if he's the Cop, how has the Mafia not fucking killed him yet? Like,
Yeah. Because it's just a numbers game at that point. Like, they would
eventually
get
kill him.
caught. Yeah, they would just get caught. Well, he would eventually ping one of them, and then the game would be over.
He checked everyone in the game.
He probably even a
Yeah,
couple
you guys
rounds
are
he was
all
like,
clean.
he was probably
You guys
like,
are, yeah, you
"You're
guys are
Mafia."
all good. At some point, you have to point at someone and say they're Mafia when they're
Yeah.
not, and then
And just
the
go head to
person
head.
will go ham. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Mafia, man. Game's hard. I was glad that we did one Mafia stream that didn't show people, But unfortunately, they were so upset about the fact that it was not showing that they didn't talk about the fact that they couldn't tell who people were.
You know why they were upset? Because they couldn't tell.
Yeah, it makes it less fun to watch. I can believe that.
They were upset because they couldn't justify their predictions. What it was.
But I could see it being more boring as well. Like if you have, especially if the day goes really long and you're just waiting for something to happen, and you have no ability to move the game forward, then that would be annoying. So I understand why it's boring. I wanted it to show just because, like you said, people would have to actually test to see how good they were. But we shouldn't force that on people. We shouldn't make them have to learn that way and have to experience
Maybe
it that
a
way.
secondary stream next time. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Before we end, I want to give a shout out to Chobra, who endured the nightmare yesterday and this weekend.
Losing his
yeah. So, for those that don't know, in America we have a 3-day weekend because of Martin Luther King Day. Old Marty got us a day off. So this weekend is amazing because you have 3 full days. So Chobra gets home from a long day at work, and we actually had a lot of work to do, and we finished all of it, and then we come back. And I hear a knocking at my door, and I open. He's just like, "Modem's dead, and they can't send me another one until after the weekend." Isn't that everyone's nightmare? I'm back.
Dude, I have it worse. This one time in college, it was winter break, and the way that I was getting internet was from these dude bros that were living the floor above because I lived with a bunch of hippies that didn't want to pay for internet. So I was using their Wi-Fi, and winter break happens. They all left. And the modem needed a restart. Didn't have internet the whole winter break when I was in college. That was fucking awful.
Yeah, but I mean, think about how much we rely on it now.
Yeah, it's bad in both situations, but yeah, I felt that, man. That shit's rough.
And I felt so bad. So tomorrow, because today I had to go do some stuff. Tomorrow, because I have enough desk room, he's just gonna bring his PC over to my place.
Yeah,
he's just gonna play games here.
Because you guys live in the same apartment building, right?
Yeah. We're gonna have a little mini LAN.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Except he wanted to drive the BTS. I said, you know, if my modem ever goes out, I'm literally just driving. I'm gonna say, Rob, I'm coming over, and I'm driving over to BTS because they have so many computers, and I'm just driving over there. I'm just gonna sit up in their like upstairs LAN area and just play there. But Rob's out of town, so we can't even do that.
Oh, that's good.
Perfect storm of a terrible situation right now. The first world problems, no high-speed internet.
That sucks, man. Sorry, you'll be okay. LANing with people is always really fun. Never forget rank party in Sweden.
What?
When we were done with casting in Sweden, for the Frankfurt qualifiers, there were a bunch of PCs upstairs, and we just stayed up until like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or something playing CS:GO on a 5-stack, all on a LAN. It was so fun.
That was so fun. I just want an event where I can just play Dota with you guys and just hang out.
Literally go somewhere for a week and just play Dota.
Like a vacation. You want a vacation?
That's actually,
but I don't even want an exotic spot. I just want to play Dota with people
I mean,
online.
the BTS house is actually perfect. I told them this. I said they should set up their house like a resort for gamers, and you can go there with 10 people. Can you imagine? So the annoying part of a LAN is not the money or the whatever.
It's the setup.
The setup and the tear down and making sure the internet works and having everything installed. The BTS has 40 computers. They're all lined up. They're perfect internet. They're all with the 144 hertz monitors. They all have SSDs. If I would pay so much if I could go there with my friends, rent out the rooms to stay there, or even rent a hotel, go to a hotel nearby, and just go there and play all day. That would be like a perfect spring break for me.
That's a good idea, to have the house component, not just like have a LAN cafe, but let people actually live in the house. And
if they had someone that took care of food, so you could order food.
Damn, dude, that's literally a business. That's a business idea right there.
That's a business.
That's a legit business idea.
They already have all the infrastructure.
Just have Grace be the food person?
Yeah, they could do it. And I told them, and I don't know if, like, obviously they don't want random people in their house and whatever, and obviously it probably, like, violates all these building codes and stuff that they can't do. But if you set it up in a place that could do that, what a business idea. Anyone that's listening to this that wants to do it, you can take it. But you have to tell me where you're doing it, and maybe do it in SoCal so I can get my friends and we can all go
You'd have to, God, it would cost so much money. You'd have to charge people so much if it was basically a hotel plus LAN setup. and they would help you with food and things, you'd have to charge so much money.
Yeah, but people would do it.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, people already rent out vacation homes for money.
Yeah, that sounds like my ideal.
Yeah, me
vacation.
too. I would definitely do that with friends.
If it was like next to the beach, right?
Oh damn, that would be so sick. Go like swim for like
just,
3 hours till you're tired, and then come in and
go out and then hang out on the beach. It'd be nice weather, and then you come back in and land at night. Like that's the dream.
The only problem is it would be
dream.
way more expensive then. If it was actually good for also beach, then you would like double your prices just on that alone.
True, but as gaming becomes more accepted in mainstream culture, more people are gonna want to do it. So
yeah,
you want because no place has a computer for everyone. That just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Everyone's all on their like iPads and shit. No one plays games.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree, man. That sounds pretty good. Like,
what an idea.
As time goes on, that's all I want to do is LAN. Just LAN with friends.
I mean, that's what it's gonna be like when we're in retirement home. Can we make a pact right now that we're gonna be in the same retirement home?
I could do that.
So we can just grind.
The only problem is then you're not close to your families respectively, so it's much more likely that we'll be.
No, we're gonna pick a place that's warm, like SoCal. I'm not gonna retire and go move to New Jersey. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna retire here, where the sun it's sunny every day, so I don't have vitamin D deficiency.
How are you gonna see your extended family, dude, and your little nieces?
They'll see him. They'll
come here. They're gonna come here, of course.
It's fucking SoCal.
People travel to the old people, dude. Come on. When you're old, they travel to you. They're like, you're fragile. Like you can't travel.
I mean, I guess I'm not necessarily saying that's how it works in my family.
We're gonna be playing Dota 6. It's gonna be all virtual reality and shit. Blitz is gonna be zipping around like as Storm Spirit in the game. You know, we gotta get out. We gotta get the same retirement home. And then they're gonna have like in-house leagues. Like it'll be like our retirement home against like the neighboring one.
But everybody's gonna play different games. That's the problem. Unless we do like a Dota retirement home or something. That would get toxic so fast though if we all play the same game.
It'll be fine. We'll do it. I believe they'll have retirement home in-house leagues when we're older. That's my prediction.
Yeah, there'll be like LAN. There'll be like gaming themed ones for sure. There's no way there won't be. There's so many gamers now.
So that's my pact with you guys. Okay, I believe it.
The future is old people gaming LANs.
When I'm old, I'm gonna be gaming. It'll be a lot more fun than what old people do now.
Fucking talk about shit. Damn.
They just wait for their family to visit them and they like play bingo and stuff. Like that sounds boring. I'm not gonna do that.
That's pretty bad. I just hope my hands still work. That'd be the worst thing.
No, it'll be brain controlled.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There'll be VR by then. It won't be that bad
so
for your hands.
The scary thing is Alzheimer's. Like we don't want that shit.
Oh
We want a cure. I would be like when I get older and I want to troll people, like I can't have any mental disease.
Is that why you don't want? Oh my god, fuck you. That's fucked up, man.
It's legit. It's a legit reason.
It's a legit reason. But
I want to still be able to, because
that's why you don't want Alzheimer's to exist.
Everyone believes you when you're an old person. You could play so many tricks on people. So I don't want to waste those formative years of being old. Get away with anything.
Damn, dude. All right, I think we should end there. I don't know. Do you still want to talk about Die Hard, Will, or should we just move on?
Dude, I got to pee soon. I
can't
pee so bad.
We'll save Blitz's Die Hard experiences till next time when he's finished all the movies. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I think we had a good episode. Sorry we take so long to make videos.
Thank you.
Tweet at Blitz_Dota about that one. And that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
Bye.